Daily Devotion with Pastor Balla for January 13th, 2025. Faith in Action Through Mercy. From James chapter 2, verse 25. And in the same way, was not also Rahab, the prostitute, justified by works when she received the messengers and sent them out by another way? Rahab's story is one of the most remarkable in Scripture, showing how God's grace transforms and redeems lives. She was not part of God's covenant people, and her life in Jericho would hardly make her a likely candidate for a hero of faith. Yet, through her actions, Rahab demonstrated genuine faith, a faith that trusted God and moved her to act boldly in obedience. James highlights Rahab's example to show that true faith transcends background, reputation, or social standing. When the spies from Israel came to her city, Rahab welcomed them, protected them, and trusted in the God of Israel to save her and her family. Her faith was not a mere belief in God's existence. It was an act of trust that led her to risk everything. Rahab's works, the actions she took to hide the spies and help them escape, were the evidence of her faith. These works did not save her. Rather, they revealed that the faith had already existed in her heart. By aligning herself with God's purposes, Rahab became part of his redemptive plan. Remarkably, she was not only saved, but also included in the genealogy of Jesus Christ, a testament to God's incredible grace and mercy. So this verse teaches us that faith is not limited to certain people or circumstances. Faith welcomes all who come to him in faith, no matter their past. Rahab's story reminds us that God's grace is sufficient to save and transform anyone. Rahab's faith moved her to act courageously, even when it meant defying her city and risking her life. In our lives, faith also calls us to action. It compels us to serve others, stand for what is right, and to trust God, even when it requires great risk or sacrifice. Rahab's story challenges us to consider how our faith is reflected in the choices we make and the actions we take. Are we willing to step out in obedience, even when it is difficult or costly? Rahab's faith was active and practical. She saw an opportunity to align with God's will and took it. Her example encourages us to live with the same readiness to act in faith, trusting God to guide and sustain us. As we reflect on Rahab's story, we are reminded that our works flow out of the faith God has given us. They are not a means of earning his love, but a response to the grace we have already received. Like us, Rahab trusted in the promises of God and acted in ways that reflected his mercy and goodness to the world around her. God's peace and many blessings be with you, and thank you for listening. And please take an opportunity to share this message with others.